What's good, YouTube? Akil here, back with another video, and today I'm going to talk about the recent sale that I ran in my eBay store. Now, I just got a comment a couple days ago. Somebody asked me if you need to have an eBay store in order to run a promotion / sale, and you absolutely do need to have an actual eBay store. Now, that's probably one of the biggest perks of having an eBay store, but at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, having an eBay store is not necessary, especially if you're just starting out, especially if you only have a limited amount of inventory. So if you have less than, say, 50 items that you want to list per month, just take full advantage of eBay's 50 free listings, and then you can go on from there. But for me, I've been running a basic eBay store for just about maybe 2 or 3 years at this point. When I first started out, I didn't have an eBay store, and I usually don't even run promotions in my store, so I wasn't even really taking full advantage of all of the benefits. But honestly, sales have definitely slowed down in September, and I actually had a 0 sale day earlier on in this month, and then I had 2 days where I made less than 60 bucks in both of those days, and both of those days were back to back. So that was kind of crazy for me. I haven't had a 0 sale day since like March, and I didn't have consecutive very slow sale days in a very long time. I probably can't even remember exactly when. So with that in mind, I decided to just run a quick sale, see if I can kind of bring in some new energy to the store and get rid of some of the stale inventory that I had laying around. And thankfully, I was able to kind of get rid of some stale inventory. But the surprising thing was that a lot of the items that actually sold were items that I didn't even have on sale. Now, the best thing about running a sale is that you can just select the items that you actually want to include in your sale. You don't have to put your entire store on sale. And for me, I have roughly about 500 items listed, and I probably put about 300 of those items on sale. So with that being said, I'm just going to give you guys a quick overview of some of the items that actually sold, what sold really well, some of the stuff that didn't sell at all. Not everything was huge money makers. Like I said, a lot of it was stale inventory, so some of the items just sold for a little bit of money. Some I kind of just broke even and got my money back. But at the end of the day, when you have items sitting in your inventory for way too long, you can end up losing money promoting a lot of the same stale inventory over and over again. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as you guys can see, I ran just a simple 3-day sale. I was gonna make it last a full week, but I kind of just wanted to do a quick test run just to see if it was actually going to be worthwhile, and of course it really did pay off. So the first day of the sale was a Sunday. In terms of the promotion sales, the sales that I generated just from having items on sale was 752 bucks. Then on Monday it was only 480 bucks, and then Tuesday was $298. But then I'll go in and I'll show you guys the overall gross sales from those days. On Sunday brought in $987 in total sales. Then on Monday was $1,097, and then on Tuesday, which was of course yesterday, was $734. So overall, the sales definitely did bring in some sales and bring in some good traffic, but overall it was definitely a mixture. Some of the items that were not on sale still was able to sell really well. So I'm just glad I was able to kind of just bring in some new energy into the store overall. But now I'm just going to jump in and show you guys some of the items that sold, some that sold due to the sale, and some items that sold without it actually being on sale. Alright y'all, so first up was this pair of Under Armour boots. I picked these up from Ross, and I believe these were $54.99. These boots sell for a ton of profit, so honestly I probably should not have put these on sale. I probably should have just waited a little longer, but while I was just clicking through a lot of items to select, I just selected this one and it ended up selling. So I had 2 pairs of these, one in a size 8, one in a size 10. The size 10 sold for about 130 bucks. I had it listed for 159, and I only ran my promotion for 15% off. And I tell people all the time, when you're running sales, the best way to do it is probably to increase your price a little bit and then run a sale after that, so you're not giving like a really big deduction. But with that in mind, I didn't run everything in my store on sale, so I was very, very particular with it. So with the 15% off, it was the items that I actually, wouldn't have mind taking 15% off. And after the sale finished, I realized that a lot of the items that did sell with that additional 15% off, it actually sold right within the market value where it was supposed to sell for. A lot of the items, I tend to list my item just a little bit on the higher end, mainly because I offer free shipping. But at the end of the day, with the market switching up as often as it is, especially nowadays, the items that I selected and gave that additional 15% off, it sold exactly where it should have sold. So at the end of the day, I'm definitely pretty happy with the results of this sale. Next up, we got a pair of these Adidas Ultra Boost, another pair of shoes that I picked up from Ross, and these were actually not even included in the sale. This was just, I had these sitting for at least maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months now, and and I had no traffic, no watchers, nothing, but of course just running the sale, I guess I probably got some extra traffic, or somebody just came around and just picked up the shoe at the perfect time. Not exactly sure, but this shoe sold for $100. Also picked this up from Ross for 50, so some decent profit was made here as well. And like I tell you guys all the time with athletic shoes, if you sell them for over $100 on eBay, you don't have to pay any fees. So this was a really good sale. Next up, same thing, we got another pair of Nike Shocks that I picked up from the Nike outlet, and these sold for $100 flat. I actually picked these up for $49.99. So once again, some decent profit was made on these, and I was able to save some money on fees. And this item was also not included in the sale. So let me just make sure I try to find some stuff that did sell within the sale. Now, this is the perfect example. This is a pair of Adidas Consortium shoes, and I picked these up from Bodega. This is when I was doing some online arbitrage last year. Bodega was just one of those sneaker websites, and they had like maybe a Black Friday sale or end of season sale, some type of sale they had going on, and I bought a bunch of shoes from them. Now overall, these shoes sold for I think $93 with that additional 15% off, and honestly this is a shoe that was just a bad buy. I was holding on to these shoes for a very long time thinking they was going to sell for way more profit, but overall sometimes you win some, you lose some. And at the end of the day, I made some profit on these, but definitely not as much profit as I probably should have got for these. I think I spent $60 for these. They sold for $93, so overall I probably made like $15 in profit. But like I said, had these shoes for a very, very long time. So overall, the sale actually just kind of helped me push some stale inventory, and I'm just glad that it's out the house now. Next up, another pair of shoes that sold due to the sale was this pair of Nike Metcon 5s. Picked these up from Ross again. I think these were like $45, and with the additional 15% off, these sold for $76. So once again, not a ton of profit on these shoes. I'm just glad that these shoes actually sold, because I picked these up a very long time ago. And this was one of the shoes that I kind of regretted picking up, because when I originally picked them up, they were selling for just about 100, maybe 110. But of course now the race to the bottom with these Ross finds is insane. So these shoes were just selling for right around that $70 to $80 range. And with the additional 15% off, I ended up letting these go right around where the market is. So you definitely want to keep those type of stuff in mind. Sometimes I price my items a little too high, sometimes I price it a little too low, but as soon as I reduce the price on these, they sold really quickly. So I'm pretty sure I just priced myself out of the market, and with that 15% off, I was right on point. Next up, another pair of shoes that sold due to the sale is these Mother's Day cleats. These are the Nike Harachi Elite 2s, and these cleats, it was in a size 11.5, and 11.5 isn't the worst size, but it does tend to sell a little slower, and this one finally did sell for $59.49. I think I had these listed at first for $69.99 with the additional 15% off, and these finally did sell. Had these for maybe 7 or 8 months, very long time. Picked them up for about $16, so I made some decent profit on those. But usually anytime I come across size 11.5, even though it is a slower sale, I'm still picking those up, because at the end of the day, size 11.5, it still does sell. And of course, if it's a good shoe, I'll pick it up all day long. Next up, we got a vintage blazer. This one is actually made from Harris Tweed fabric, and this one sold for $42.49. Of course, it was listed for $49.99, but with the additional 15% off, it made it sell a little faster. Now, honestly, I've been selling a lot more blazers lately. I had about maybe 7 or 8 Harris Tweed blazers, and just this week alone, 3 or 4 of them had sold. So this is the season now where people are going to start picking up more blazers and stuff like that. During the summer months, it's going to be super slow in terms of selling menswear and blazers and things like that. But now that fall is here and the rest of the country is starting to cool down, these are definitely the type of stuff that you guys should be being on the lookout for. Harris Tweed blazers usually do sell anywhere between about $40, sometimes depending on the fabric and the cut, you can probably get a little more. I had these listed for a very long time, but thankfully for the sale, I was able to get these out of the house. Next up, we got some Nike Air Max Pluses, and these were actually not on sale. I actually picked these up from Burlington. I think I spent $55 on these, and these sold for $129 within about 3 or 4 days after listing it. And like I said, I didn't put these on sale because I priced them perfectly, and I knew they was going to sell in a decent amount of time, and they sold really quickly. So that's probably one of my favorite things about running promotions. You don't have to put everything on sale. You can just select the items that you actually want to include and leave the rest at full price. At least this is one of the items that sold during the sale, and probably one of my favorite sales during this time. I picked up these 4 packs of, these are called commercial electric low profile LED lights. and I picked these up during a garage sale. I went randomly a couple weeks ago just to see what was going on in my area, and somebody that buys stuff from auctions, they actually had a ton of these in their garage sale. So they had 6 in total, picked up all 6, and they were asking $12 a piece. Tried to talk them down, but they wasn't really going for it, so I just went ahead and I paid the price. And I had these listed for maybe a week and a half. Like I said, the garage sale wasn't too long ago, and somebody went ahead and purchased all 6. And the huge tip that I have for you guys, when you're selling big bulky items like this, you definitely want to go ahead and use UPS, because eBay and UPS formed a partnership maybe a couple weeks, maybe it's been a month by now, but using UPS for really heavy bulky items is definitely the way to go. When I packaged up all of these items, it came out to about 55 pounds, and it was going all the way to Texas, and the shipping only cost me about 35 bucks. And I'm in Arizona, and if I was to use FedEx or USPS, it would have cost me like 70 to 80 bucks, especially since it was so heavy. So only thing I did with this is I went to Home Depot, purchased one of those really big extra large moving boxes, packed them all up, and then I dropped it off at UPS, and it was able to ship out there, and I saved a ton of money on shipping. So if you guys are shipping out really heavy bulky items, you definitely want to use UPS to save that money on shipping. Alright y'all, so that's all I got for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, I'm going to be doing my live show tomorrow, Thursday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I do those live shows every week, and that's where I just answer any reseller or entrepreneur questions that you guys may have. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's live show. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
For the winner, cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Mood just to keep from cooling, like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold, and I'm too cool to sweat it. I should've never offered it. I'm tight and now I'm off this shit. You should wanna be a real one.